Let us pray. Creator God, on this great day of celebration and achievement, we give thanks. We give thanks for opportunities of study and research, and for family and friends who have supported us in difficult times and encouraged us to achieve our goals. Bless all our graduates today as they journey forth from here to their different places and countries of work. May they find strength as they use their newfound wisdom and skill for the relief of suffering and the conquest of disease. May they use their gifts of compassion and understanding in seeking to uphold the health care of all humanity and care for those in need. May blessing be upon all our graduates as they give generously of their time in the service of others. May they go forth with a spirit of courage and adventure to meet whatever challenge lies ahead, finding great happiness in all that they do. Amen.
I call upon the Principal to address this assembly.
Chancellor, Deputy Lord Provost, graduands and guests, welcome to Dundee. This is a great city. It's got so much to offer, going through such a renaissance. And for those of you who might not yet have had the chance to look round, I hope you do that, perhaps even over the weekend. There's so much to do here in the city with the new waterfront, our wonderful museums, the McManus Gallery, the V&A, to name but a few. It is truly a city of discovery, as well as not just Scotland, but a UNESCO City of Design. So enjoy Dundee. But this is about you. This is about our graduands. This is a celebration of your achievement. I'm going to say quite a lot about that in a second. However, it is a celebration, and we need to get a celebration warmed up a little bit. And there is a competition here. And the competition is something that the Chancellor and I, well, we don't bet against each other because we're together as a partnership. But we always look to see who can make the most noise. And we expect a lot of noise, not just from our graduands, but from guests, from friends, from family also. And what we've discovered over the years is that to get the noise and the celebration and these vibes going, we need to warm you up a little bit. So you're going to warm yourself up now with the loudest cheer that you can get. So come on, graduands, warm up! Yeah, not bad, not bad. So you see, the Chancellor's leading you here. You see the foot stomping. This is a really robust building, actually. It's been around for a long time. Lots of people have tried to raise the roof. So next time, and I'll give you another chance in a minute, we need a bit of foot stamping. And, you know, come on, you can do better. You can do better. I mean, you've gone through these years of study, and you're here before us to become graduates of the university. I know you can do better. So I think, you know, second time, Chancellor, let's see where we get to. It is a celebration, and it's, I hope, a joyous occasion for every one of you, whether you are graduating today or whether you're here to bear witness in that graduation. But it's also a ceremony of great importance and symbolic wealth. And what I'd like to do is just explain a little bit about what's going to happen. So, graduands, you're going to come up on stage, and you're going to walk across the stage. And during that walk across the stage, your life is going to be transformed, because you're going to begin as a graduand, and then as you approach the Chancellor will doff you the Dundee Bonnet. And after that, you're no longer a graduand, you're a graduate. And you're a member of the academic community of this great university and ready for that next stage in your life. So let me tell you a bit about the bonnet. The bonnet is the product of one of the 9 trades of Dundee. Dundee has historically 9 trades. And this bonnet was made by the bonnet maker's craft, which is one of the most prestigious and illustrious of the craft, and does a great deal of charitable fundraising. And this particular bonnet was made for the university and has been used in every graduation ceremony that we've had since we've been the University of Dundee. First wielded by no less a figure than Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. So as you pass and you're ceremonially doffed with this bonnet, it's of the city, it's part of our ceremony, and it is you following in the footsteps of those who have been before. You also see these wonderful maces at the front of the stage, and these maces are the symbols of the authority of the various bodies concerned. And they're incredibly important, and I want to explain why. So the first one, the one on the left closest to me, that's the university mace. That's a mace that's been used, stood in that place before the Chancellor at every degree awarding ceremony for 110 years, since the university was actually Queen's College Dundee, part of the University of St Andrews. So every student passing this university has passed that mace. Next to it is the mace of the city of Dundee. And the presence of the mace of the city of Dundee and a Deputy Lord Provost is symbolic of quite how close we as an academic community, as a university, are to our city and to the people here. And you see the city and the university symbolically united, celebrating your success. And then last, but no means least, is the mace of the rector. Keith Harris is here. He is the rector of our university, and it's Keith's duty to look after the pastoral care of his students. You elect a rector. And this mace being here is symbolic of the presence of the student body, and the president of DUSA sat here accompanying the mace. So together, this is the university united with the student body, united with the city, celebrating what you're about to pass from graduand to graduate. Then the last thing is to say a bit about these robes, which, believe me, after a couple of hours sitting here under these hot lights, I like less than I like right now. But they are very beautiful robes, and the colour is liturgical blue. And liturgical blue was the traditional colour associated with the Virgin Mary, with St Mary. And St Mary the Virgin is the patron saint of Dundee. And as well as the liturgical blue, you'll see the Madonna Lily, the fleur-de-lis, which is her symbol, but also the symbol of our city, alongside our own Scottish thistle. So that's the history of what we're about to do. The history is important, but what's really most important is all of you. At this point in any academic cycle, at any graduation, always the principal will congratulate graduands on the incredible work that they've put into their studies and the achievements that we're about to celebrate as you cross this stage. But for you, having done all of this with a pandemic going on, and many of you have volunteered to help in many ways through that pandemic, as well as dealing with your studies, as well as dealing with your own family issues, as well as dealing with issues around how you yourself make the transition through to that next phase of your life. What you have achieved is truly remarkable. The dedication, the commitment that you have brought to your studies, and the way you have behaved as individuals and as a student body, representing our university and our city and our community, is quite extraordinary. You must be proud of all that you've achieved. I know your family are. Every one of us up here is, and I most certainly am. The resilience and determination that you've shown in getting to this stage and achieving your degrees is remarkable. So with that, it's time for a second cheer to celebrate. So let's hear a bit more noise. Let's remember it's a competition. And let's remember, let's go! Yeah, I think we're getting impressed. There's time yet, but we're getting impressed. Let's talk a bit more about Dundee and our university. You all know this, but let's take pride in our university and remind ourselves quite how great we as a community are. And for friends and family around to just, well, introduce a bit more of what we do in Dundee. Our core mission here in our university, in your university, is to transform lives. Here in Dundee, across Scotland, the UK, and really importantly, globally, through the creation, sharing, and application of knowledge. We talk about being a triple intensive university, and that's one that combines brilliant learning and teaching together with outstanding research with impact, and enterprise and engagement with our city and our community. And what unites all of this is our strong sense of social purpose, to making a difference, to transforming lives. That's what a really outstanding university should do. And, well, let me just pick an example from the School of Medicine and Transforming Lives. This is the only city in the world where your colleagues have managed to eradicate hepatitis C from the population. The only city in the world. That's the kind of impact. We're both of and we're for our city. We take a central and transformative role in driving the renaissance of Dundee. We've done that with the V&A. When you go visit the waterfront, you'll see it. It's a stunning building, home to a stunning collection, and really importantly, to a cultural renaissance, building on the past here in Dundee, building on that UNESCO City of Design. And now also bringing the Eden Project to our city. The Eden Project to celebrate sustainability, to celebrate the future of our planet, and to reach out into some of the more deprived areas of and around the city, to really put equity and inclusion at the core of what we as a community are around. And jobs and economic development too. We're building a life sciences research powerhouse and a life sciences innovation district. You all know that this university has topped rankings on life sciences research for every year out of the last 8 across the UK and by some globally. And that's ranked not just by us, not just by our peers, but the global pharmaceutical industry. These developments and the approach that we take as a community through our university are already and will continue to drive huge improvements in population health as well as wealth. And our research, you know this, it reaches far and wide. From climate change and glaciers, huge breakthroughs in the fight against multiple ranges of diseases, from malaria to leishmaniasis to Parkinson's and beyond. And provision of services, midwifery, dentistry, free legal clinics, and what all of you have done in the School of Medicine and continue to do across our city. Keyhole surgery was invented here in Dundee. You all have in your pocket somewhere, which I hope are switched to silent, a smartphone. Silent's fine, you should take pictures. But that smartphone screen, flat screen technology, was invented here in Dundee. You're part of that academic community, and you're part of the work that we do also on the global stage, working with our international community and our partners to take on the many challenges facing the world. For example, working with Kids OR. Kids OR is a charity, partly based here in Dundee, that creates operating room facilities for paediatric care in developing countries. And doesn't just create the facilities, but provides real-time, real-life training. We partner very closely with Kids OR through our outstanding biomedical engineering, shared between the School of Medicine and the School of Science and Engineering. Community is central to our being. It's at the heart of everything that we do. And our graduates, you are graduates to be. You're an important and vital part of that. As global ambassadors with a lifelong membership of this university, of the University of Dundee, you should always consider that this is your home. Whether you think of the city as your home, and I hope you do, but spiritually, what we preach, what we practice, what we teach in this university, intellectually, this will always be your home, always be your university. Take pride in that. Share your passion for the university, the connection to the city, and share the ideas that you've formed here. You're the next generation that you will be putting your minds to solve some of the big issues, and indeed some of the little issues that all of us face. I just hope that we, in the academic community and the broader community in Dundee, have helped equip you to prepare for these challenges and these opportunities ahead. I assure you, your priorities are all of our priorities. I want to just talk about one, and that's sustainability. Sustainability is so important to all of us, to our future as society, our future here in Dundee, our future on our planet. Last year, we were fortunate enough to host in Scotland the Conference of the Parties 26, COP26 in Glasgow. And many of you from the student body and also the staff body were very much involved in the discussions around COP26. But it's one meeting, and what we need to do as a community is ensure that the opportunities are realized and the worst risks, whether they're through changing spread of disease, through sea level rise, or through inequity as a consequence of climate change, are dealt with. As US President Barack Obama said, all of us have a part to play, all of us have work to do, all of us have sacrifices to make. You're our ambassadors. You'll carry the torch in addressing and dealing with and hopefully resolving some of these consequences. We, for our part, continue to be extremely involved indeed, and we're working closely with Malawi, which is a country that Scotland has a close connection with, as they take on the leadership of the UN Africa group in the preparation for COP27 later this year in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. All of you here today, the graduates that have gone before you, those that will follow you across the stage in years to come, are our hope, all of our hope for the future. Let's turn to some lighter comments now. I hope you've had a pretty good time here. You ought to have, well, you have, because you're here and you're about to graduate. You've gained lots of new knowledge and skills, huge insights, become experts in your subjects. And that is fantastic and outstanding. It's part of what university is about. You've also learned a great deal about yourselves and others. You've made friends, some of you have made life partners. And that finding out about yourself, that opening your mind to inquiry, that's one of the greatest things that a university education can equip you with. So please, as you go forward, stay open, stay agile in your thinking, be porous to new ideas, be flexible, never stop learning. It's genuinely my and all of our most sincere hope that your time here at the university has equipped you to take that next step into your lives with confidence and a spirit of adventure. It's time now to be bold, to be creative, to be innovative, and to make your own impact. As you step out into the world, bearing your degree as a graduate, a member of the academic community, an ambassador for the University of Dundee, be assured that we, your university community of fellow graduates, students and staff, wish you the very, very best for your future. And with that, we're going to come to your last practice before the main event. So I'm going to give you a countdown to 3. And this time, I don't want any shilly-shallying. I want you to show me the commitment that's got you to this place, and the friends and relatives, and let's make the balcony vibrate. So, for the graduands about to come before us and transform their lives, 1, 2, 3. I think they're ready for you, Chancellor.
Thank you, Principal, and thank you, graduands. I hope your feet are comfortable. I now call upon Dr. Jonathan Berg from the School of Medicine.
Chancellor, before the medical graduands are presented, I will ask them to assent to a declaration that they will maintain traditional standards of professional conduct. Will the medical graduands please stand? I solemnly promise to use, to the best of my knowledge and ability, the art and science of my profession for the good of those under my care, and to make the preservation and restoration of their health my constant aim. I shall keep secret anything I see or hear in my practice that should not be divulged. I shall constantly endeavour to improve my knowledge and skills within my profession, and to share useful discoveries with my fellow practitioners, whom I promise to hold in fraternal regard. These things shall I do for the benefit of those whom I seek to serve, and for the honour of the profession that I now join. Do you make this promise? Thank you.
I now call upon Dr. Susie Schofield from the School of Medicine.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, Athena Abel. Joshua Abhishek. Sarah Adam. Belinda Adupong. Shubham Agwan. Smuruk Ahmed Khan. Haiba Al-Hasso. Haris Ali. Olivia Allat. Adam Amin. Sarah Ashburn. Alap Asurlikher. Flanar Barreto. Rasma Bibi. Katie Bignell. Amirul bin Azman. Mohammed Shafiq. Zoe Blackburn. Rosa Bock. Katie Bone. Hayley Boyom. Rachel Bruton. Rebecca Bryant. Rosemary Bunn. Sunita Burgle. Nicola Cabrelli. Michelle Callison. Fiona Cameron. Niall Cameron. Keir Carmichael. Martin Carr. Emma Carville. Russell Chalmers. Chuk Nam Christopher Chan. Wai Keen Mark Cham. Waji Chowdhury. Ho Leong Chia. Shun Hong Chu. Vanessa Chong. Rachel Chung. Caitlin Cole. Matthew Coulson. Kirsty Creary. Claire Cunningham. Kirsten Davies. Zoe Doak. Samuel Donnelly. Emma Duncan. Zoe Dundas. Ailey Duffy. Ailey Edmiston. Thanapon Ekonagul. Ahmed Al-Sayed. Adina Lee Ariel Evanson. Neve Fitzpatrick. Adam Flanagan. Isabella Foster MacDonald. Chloe Fraser. Christine Fullerton. Sherry George. Ria Gose. Rachel Gordon. Cleona Green. Rahel Grace. Wia Gui. Rachel Hall. Monga Hamukoma. John Hanna. Ronan Harrison. Kerry Hendry. Catherine Hill. Humza Hussain. Sarah Hussain. Samantha Irvin. Poonam Jakra. Sarah Johnston. Jewel Joseph. Lucinda Jowett. Rachel Kelly. Rebecca Kelly. Miranda King. Shiv Ranjini Krishnan. Ho Lee. Iona Lang. Fiona Lanigan. Jenny Lee. Sue Ernley. Che Lung. Jazz Tin Lim. Christy Lowe. Craig Lundy. Lepa Much Iken Aite. Fiona Mansfield. Joseph Macaulay. Thomas Macaulay. Cameron McCloskey. Kayla McConville. Joanne McEwen. Scott McIldarvey. Laura McKenna. Rory McNally. Olivia McNee. Maya Mehmood. Elizabeth Mickle. Marianne Mitchell. Anna Rose Morgan. Manur Muggle. Alan Muldoon. Saoirse Murdoch. Matthew Murta. Lachlan Musée. Mohammed Naeem. Nitya Nair. Alexandra Neogi. Aya Naidun Gardi. Sophia Neckel. James Nicholson. Magd Nojum. Olakoyodi Oki. Mervyn Awuza Ayim. Cheryl O'Hare. Matthew Palin. Rosalinda Palos. Bradley Petrie. Arpit Pillai. Rupali Prakash. Hannah Prill. Sithul Ravuri. Francesca Ria. Erin Riley. Jonas Repkovich. Nicole Robin. Samantha Ross. Shirley Ross. Maya Aksha Roy. Shivam Sarkar. James Saw. Matthew Scott. Shiraz Shafi. Nidhi Sharma. Jennifer Shamali. Sunavili Siddiqui. Jay Slater. Imogen Smedley. Christy Smith. Connor Smith. Why not? Jin So. Michael Story. Holly Strachan. Mithran Sintharamurthy. Emma Tennant. Rui Ping To. Lisa Thurgood. Sarah Titus. Saki Tamita. Emily Turnbull. Matthew Turner. Shona Urquhart. Rathna Virni. Rowena Walker. Daniel Watkins. Connor Wheeler. Benjamin Williams. Matthew Williams. Ross Wilson. Laura Woodhead. Sarah Wright. And for the degree of Bachelor of Medical Science, Sophie Baird. Matthew Bruton. Zoe Dinardo. Charlotte Gemmell. Catriona Leng. Brianna Matheson. Ronan McAvoy. Hannah Berry. Lucy Irvin. Dominic Lee. Jack Roberts. Harris Barty. Adam Brown. Benjamin Connolly. Jamie Dale. Anna Hurrylook. Christopher Stewart. Samadhi Alagoda. Jacob Foster. Georgia Williams. Lucy Crichton. Emily Mander. Ilsa Tripp. Taylor Allen Moore. Caitlin Blackwood. Hannah Duffy. Cara Finley. Ailey Gilchrist. Mabel Green. Emma Lawton. Molly Matisha. Caitlin Martin. Rebecca Morrison. Philip Samuel. Amina Sadar. Erin Stevenson. Judith Wilson. Jenny Clark. Sophie Ferguson. Dominika Zwolinska. Lucy Allen. Hannah Farquhar. Catherine Gray. Amber Hilmy. Rose Richmond. Lucy Roberts. Callum Silcock. Caroline Armstrong. Sarah Benjamin. Sarah Black. Priyanka Das. Megan Davis. Neve Fabry. Duncan Fulton. Lindsay Garrick. Angarad Gould. Sophie Marriott. Katie McCullough. Ailey McGoldrick. Jessica McKeever. Rebecca Ross. Emma Sutcliffe. Lucy Sidsurf. Melissa Tavendale. Alina Thomas. Elissa Travers. Hamish Halliday. Tobias Hughes. Andrew Oswald. Holly Rankin. And for the postgraduate certificate in medical education, Chukwuka Anazaya. Anna Bevan. For the postgraduate certificate in medical education simulation, Agnieszka Sumera. For the postgraduate certificate in medical education for radiology, Siti Abraman. For the postgraduate diploma in medical education, Zahira Sadia. For the master in medical education, Dalia Al-Bahari. Elif Kakal. Peng Kek. Mohammed Madadin. Rebecca Walmsley. For the Master of Science, Victoria Alexander. Nadia Arshad. Amy Blackley. Joanne Carstairs. Leigh Dugan. Katie Ferguson. Catherine Gibson. Emma Johnston. Ursa Klobuchar. Louise McKay. Sana Raymond. Kirsten Richardson. Emma Sloan. For the Master of Public Health Palliative Care Research, Zanabu Ayumba. For the Master of Science by Research, Erin Kant. Alex St. John. For the Doctor of Medicine, Chancellor, I have the honour to present Vun Chong. Mohammed Iskander. Magdalena Chevchik-Bida. For the Doctor of Philosophy, Haytham Al-Hussein. Anna Chandray. Mehul Chureja. Ruth Cordiner. Megan Crichton. Catriona Farrell. Claire Fitton. Shushri McGann. Holly Keir. Alpana Mayer. Jodie McIntosh. Alexandra Melenda. Guzzy O'Fire. Tilanathan Sathananthan. Samuel Singleton.
Thank you. So I now call upon the principal.
Chancellor, I have the honour to invite you to confer the degrees in absence upon the candidates who have been unable to attend this ceremony.
By the authority of Senate, I confer those degrees.
Well, graduates, you've crossed the stage, we've transformed your lives, you've transformed your own lives. So to celebrate that, now really is the time to raise the roof. So on the count of three, a last big, big cheer for all the work and all the achievement. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, everyone. I now call upon Dr. Jonathan Berg to present the honorary graduand for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Dr. Margot Whiteford. This is the third time that Margot has graduated from the University of Dundee, and on this occasion, it is in the honour of her many, many achievements, as well as how much she embodies the spirit of the best graduates of the University of Dundee Medical School. Margot, I'm checking for slides, Margot was born in 1959 with spina bifida. And at this point, doctors proved just how wrong we can be by suggesting, in inverted commas, that her parents take her home to let nature take its course. And it's worth just briefly reflecting how something you say in the middle of the night as a doctor might be remembered for a reasonably long time and then be brought up at random at a graduation ceremony. However, Margot showed her determination from a young age. She became mobile, initially with the aid of calipers and crutches, and this allowed her to attend a normal school, which in itself was exceptional at the time. When thinking about mobility, we will touch on Margot's affinity with wheels at a later stage. Margot always wanted to do medicine, and it was suggested that this is because of the time that she had to spend in hospital, showing her a bit about what it was about. But I suspect there's also an inner voice telling her that this is something that she would be really good at. In the 1970s, it would have been really hard, almost impossible to achieve. But again, Margot demonstrated her determination and her ability. To start with, she earned her ticket by studying and graduating in pharmacology in Dundee. And after this, she was accepted by the medical school and graduated 5 years later. Just going off script, please note the Margot smile. Oh, nobody's put the slide up yet. It's really dangerous when I can't see. Okay. This may have been, sorry, I will go back. So she graduated in pharmacology and was accepted by the University of Dundee Medical School, graduating 5 years later. Please note the red hood with the fur lining that most of you are wearing today, and spare a second to think a little bit about what this means. I will, however, say that hairstyles have changed a little. Margot started her training in pediatrics, gaining her MRCP, and I think these pictures show how much she enjoyed working with patients. She rapidly realized that some of the most interesting work was in an unusual and little-known specialty called clinical genetics, and in 1997 became a consultant clinical geneticist in the Royal Hospital for Children in Glasgow. I will add here that Margot will have required additional determination to move around the second floor of the Duncan Guthrie Institute, which was opened in the 1980s and famous for narrow stairs and essentially absence of lifts. I'll briefly mention there was an exploding rodent incident, but Margot assures me that this was nothing to do with her. Although I think the story so far would in itself be more than enough to justify the award of the honorary degree, there is more, a lot more. Margot has been on the board of directors of Spina Bifida Hydrocephalus Scotland, SBHS for short, since she was a medical student, and has been its chairperson, it says here 18 years, I believe it is actually longer. She has also been president of the International Federation for Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus for 9 years. Rather impressive awards have followed, Margot was Scotswoman of the Year in 2009 and awarded the Charity Champions Lifetime Achievement Award in 2016. In 2017, she became Margot Whiteford CBE in recognition of the huge amount of work she has done for people with spina bifida. I'll hope that you notice that Margot has style as well as determination. I said that I'd come back to Margot's wheels, and please note how well they coordinate in the image I can't see behind me, but also today carefully chosen to work with the academic robes. I also remember the red car extremely well at processing through Glasgow at modest speed, grabbing a lift to neonatal consultations at a different site. As well as ski bob, because sliding on snow is actually a core competence in the curriculum, Margot has taken up wheelchair racing and become quite scary at it. She partnered with Gordon Ramsay in the London Marathon, and in this case, helping to raise £800,000 for the headquarters of SBHS. Margot retired from clinical genetics in 2019. And so I'm going to finish with a picture of Margot and Hamish. But I'm going to leave you with a comment from one of her colleagues. They said, Margot is so great to work with, and now I just miss being able to drop in to her office for a chat about a patient or anything. So many achievements, and such a great person, a doctor, dare I say, Dundee doctor, and a colleague as well. Chancellor, I have the honour to invite you to confer upon Dr. Margot Whiteford the degree of Doctor of Laws.
By the authority of Senate, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws. And your certificate. Many congratulations. Thank you so much. Are you going to speak?
Good afternoon, everyone. They said that they were going to give me a music stand for my notes, and I said, what notes? And they said, oh, you're winging it. And I've winged it the rest of my life, so I'll continue to wing it this afternoon. First of all, may I start by congratulating all of you and your degrees today. Well done, everybody. Back in 1980, when I sat where you were sitting, the person receiving the honorary doctorate degree was Sir James Black, the eminent pharmacologist, famous for developing beta blockers and H2 blockers. Now, to you young ones, they probably seem like historic, prehistoric medications, but to me, it was the new big thing. And to be in the same room as somebody like Sir James Black was really quite a thing. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that some 40 years later, I would be back on the stage getting the same honour as him. From a mum and dad's point of view, they're now in their 90s, and I'm delighted to say that they have managed to be along with me today. The very fact that I received any university degree was a huge achievement after the gloomy prognosis that they had been given when I was first born. And it's due to them. They encouraged me to be independent from a very young age, and also their fight to get me into a mainstream school so as I could get the type of education I needed in order to attain a place at university. And I've got a lot to thank the University of Dundee for. By giving me a place in their science faculty, it allowed me the opportunity to show people what I was capable of doing. And towards the end of my pharmacology degree, I actually applied to the medical schools at Aberdeen University, Edinburgh University, Glasgow University, and Dundee University. And back in these days, it was unusual for prospective medical students to be called for an interview, but I had declared my disability on my application form, so I was called for an interview at all 4 medical schools. And I got asked many, many questions, some of them possibly not politically correct these days. But I remember at one of the interviews, they said to me, "How quickly can you put your clothes on if you were called out in the middle of the night?" And it was only years later, when I was working as a junior doctor, that I realised it was actually a trick question, because you don't actually ever get to your bed when you're on call as a junior doctor. Perhaps not surprisingly, at the Glasgow University Medical School, they asked me how I would cope with all the drunks coming into a busy casualty department on a Saturday night. And I think I answered something like, "Well, I hope I'll not be running the casualty department single-handedly." But in actual fact, I did end up working as a casualty officer in one of Glasgow's hospitals, the Southern General Hospital in the not-too-salubrious Govan area. For those of you old enough to remember Rapsy Nesbitt and Mary Doll, you'll get the picture of what I was talking about, and it had more than its fair share of Glasgow's finest inebriated patients. But guess what? Drunks are nice to people with disabilities. It was a definite advantage. They were all very sorry for bothering me in the middle of the night. So anyway, I'd already been rejected by Aberdeen, Edinburgh and Glasgow when the time came for my interview at Dundee, and so I wasn't holding out much hope. But perhaps because they had seen me zooming around 9 wells while I was doing my pharmacology degree in my wheelchair, they were going to give me a chance. So when that letter of acceptance came through the door, to say that I was delighted was somewhat of an understatement. And from that point onwards, there was no looking back. Now, everybody tells you that medicine is a difficult career, and there's no doubt about it, it is, but it's also a very rewarding career. I always felt that I was overcome many of the challenging aspects that other people would find difficult, because I knew my way around how to do things. And certainly none of my patients ever questioned my ability to do the job. And in fact, I think a lot of the patients found it quite refreshing to see a doctor who had an obvious disability. It suggested to them that I'd been a patient at some time. And I think for all doctors, it is an advantage to have been a patient, because you then know what it's like to be on the other side and how you would like to be treated if the positions were reversed. As well as being a challenging career, it's also a very rewarding, and there are sometimes humorous stories to go with medicine. And perhaps one of the ones that sticks in my mind is actually when I was a junior house officer in the urology department at the old Dundee Royal Infirmary, now well gone in flats, I think. But anyway, I was up in the ward, busy away, and the consultant phoned up from the outpatient clinic and said, "Oh, Mr. Smith's wound has broken down after his surgery. I'm going to send him up to the ward, and if you could pop a couple of sutures in the wound, that would be great." And I remembered Mr. Smith, not his real name, of course, because he was unlike most of the other patients coming into the male urology ward who had their prostate problems to get sorted out. Mr. Smith was diabetic and had unfortunately developed impotence as part of his diabetes. So anyway, the charge nurse, a male charge nurse, said he would get everything set up in the treatment room with Mr. Smith and give me a call when I was needed. And I'd never seen a penile implant before, and I guess they might be different now. But in these days, they were long rods like this, but they were bendable, and you could bend them into whatever position was required. So I duly got the call that the treatment room was ready for me, and I went in, got scrubbed up, and the charge nurse pulled back the sheet and lifted Mr. Smith's rather large appendage, and I picked up the local anaesthetic, and before I could stop myself, I uttered the words, "Wee prick, Mr. Smith." Now, how I ever managed to get the sutures in with the male charge nurse almost convulsing behind his surgical mask, I do not know. So I'd just like to end by saying thank you so much, the University of Dundee, for giving me such an opportunity to have a rewarding and happy career. I hope you all do too, and thank you for honouring me in this way today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Whiteford. We've now reached the end of this degree ceremony, and I ask you please to be upstanding for the close. I declare this academic ceremony closed.